Okay, so we are in URANTIA book, and we are in a paper 15, 11.1, the Deliberative Assembly. Who would like to begin to read?
Yeah, I'll go.
Thanks, Kim.
Okay. It is on such worlds as Uversa that the beings representative of the autocracy of perfection, autocracy of perception, oh gee, that's interesting, and the democracy of evolution, wow, meet face to face. The executive branch of the super government originates in the realms of perfection. The legislative branch springs from the flowering of the evolutionary universes. The deliberative assembly of the super universe is confined to the headquarters world. This legislative or advisory council consists of 7 houses, to each of which every local universe admitted to the super universe councils elects a native representative. These representatives are chosen by the high councils of such local universes from among the ascending pilgrim graduates of Avanton who are tarrying on Uversa, accredited for transport to Havona. The average term of service is about 100 years of super universe standard time. Never have I known of a disagreement between the Avanton executives and the Uversa Assembly. Never yet in the history of our super universe has the deliberative body ever passed a recommendation that the executive division of the super government has even hesitated to carry out. There always has prevailed the most perfect harmony and working agreement, all of which testifies to the fact that evolutionary beings can really attain the heights of perfected wisdom, which qualifies them to consort with the personalities of perfect origin and divine nature.
Mm.
The presence of the deliberative assemblies on the super universe headquarters reveals the wisdom and foreshadows the ultimate triumph of the whole vast evolutionary concept of the Universal Father and his eternal Son.
Mm.
Holy moly.
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely the shadow side, aren't we? The shadow world of all that. God sakes.
It's beautiful how it opens. Yeah.
I love that for some reason. The autocracy of perfection, democracy of evolution, meeting face to face. Anyway, shall I keep going, or does someone else want to go?
No, you keep going, Kim. You're in a good streak.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. No, I keep saying, like, if something moves you, it doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. Stay with the movement, because something just gets deconstructed in us. That's the whole thing,
Oh,
you know?
okay. 12, the Supreme Tribunals.
Mm.
When we speak of executive and deliberative branches of the Uversa government, You may, from the analogy of certain forms of Urantian civil government, reason that we must have a third or judicial branch, and we do, but it does not have a separate personnel. Our courts are constituted as follows. There presides, in accordance with the nature and gravity of the case, an Ancient of Days, a perfecter of wisdom, or a divine counsellor. The evidence for or against an individual, a planet, system, constellation, or universe is presented and interpreted by the censors. The defence of the children of time and the evolutionary planets is offered by the mighty messengers, the official observers of the superuniverse government to the local universes and systems. The attitude of the higher government is portrayed by those high in authority, with capital letters, those high in authority. Oh. And ordinarily the verdict is formulated by a varying sized commission consisting equally of those without name and number, and a group of understanding personalities chosen from the Deliberative Assembly. Wow. The courts of the Ancients of Days are the high review tribunals for the spiritual adjudication of all component universes. The sovereign sons of the local universes are supreme in their own domains. They are subject to the super government only insofar as they voluntarily submit matters for counsel or adjudication by the Ancients of Days, except in matters involving the extinction of will creatures. Oh my God. Oh.
Such as with the what was that? The Luciferian rebellion.
Oh. Mandates of judgment originate in the local universes, but sentences involving the extinction of will creatures are always formulated on and executed from the headquarters of the superuniverse. The sons of the local universes can decree the survival of mortal man, but only the Ancients of Days may sit in executive judgment on the issues of eternal life and death. In all matters not requiring trial, the submission of evidence, the Ancients of Days or their associates render decisions, and these rulings are always unanimous. We are here dealing with the councils of perfection. There are no disagreements, nor minority opinions in the decrees of these supreme and superlative tribunals.
Amazing.
Oh.
Sure.
Why do they bother having all the different things, people? They'll just have just one person would be enough, or one whatever.
Oh,
They
Yeah,
don't agree.
exactly.
You can give them advice for sure.
I vote that one to be Kevin.
Yes.
Oh, I don't
I see what
know.
you're saying.
In
No, you wouldn't
trouble.
want you wouldn't want me you wouldn't want me sitting in judgment of this stuff. I can tell you.
With certain
I
few
was my
exceptions.
vote.
Oh, I don't know. I feel a bit cross. I mean, it's all so perfectly run, and it's so shit here. Like, it's just makes me
Yeah, like
mad.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, aren't you all goody two shoes?
Yeah, I know.
There's
Oh,
something about this
Oh,
whole
dear.
all this stuff that I don't like. You know?
mm,
Something not right doesn't sit right with me.
Right.
okay. With certain few
Uh,
exceptions, the super governments exercise jurisdiction over all things and all beings in their respective domains. There is no appeal from the rulings and decisions of the super universal authorities, since they represent the concurred opinions of the ancients of days and that master spirit who, from paradise, presides over the destiny of the super universe concerned. Mm.
Mhm.
Maybe it just comes from the fact I don't like authority.
Yeah, there seems a lot of it, doesn't there?
Oh, it's just like
So many different, so many different
it seems so sort of
ones.
set and strict somehow, like as if it's
Mm.
unbending or something, No, I don't like it.
That's why he came to Earth, Kevin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He didn't come, he was sent here.
Oh, whatever. Yeah.
I was tricked into coming here.
Yeah, right.
what the way the way I see it,
Worse than the extinction
this
of
is
worse than the extinction of will is to be sent here. I don't know. Sorry, what
the
was
way I
that?
see this assembly is that right mind is right mind,
Yeah.
right-mindedness is just right-mindedness, and so anyone who's that evolved is going to be in their right mind,
Yes.
and there'll be a whole group of people in their right of beings in their right mind, and so they just come to the natural conclusion that comes from that.
But there must be a lot of people doing wrong things because there's so much, there's so many people handing all that down these decisions and coming to the, like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
Oh, it's interesting, isn't it?
I mean, it could just all be one big fantasy, this book.
Yeah, of course.
One big what? Sorry.
Fantasy.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is that?
The
Someone's
book.
dream, imagining, some person's imaginings.
I
None
don't
of
think
it's
so,
true.
but
So,
yeah,
Yeah.
I do have those thoughts sometimes. It's like, I mean, is this even really true?
of
Well,
course,
I know I
it's
can't
health.
help it.
It's healthy to have that, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
some of the things are so unbelievable.
But
Like it's like the more you read it, the more it sort of all sinks in, like the perfection of it all, how
mm,
complex it is. It begins to like for me, it's just that it's more that I begin to live differently within myself,
Mm.
rather than what I think I know.
Yeah.
mm,
It touches different aspects of us that are maybe not awakened yet. It's definitely an awakener book because it deconstructs anything that deconstructs structure that's limited point of view is, for me, a healthy thing. Just like Course in Miracles is like it basically say, hey, whatever you think, it's just your projection, right? Unless you're connected to, genuine love, and upon which it is extension. Big difference. You're no longer projecting and arguing with or attacking your own projections, right?
Yeah.
You're in peace, extending who you truly are. Which I believe it's already here in us. We allow it to come through. I think that's what those holy instances are, that I recognize wholeness within you. At the same time, you recognize the wholeness within me, and in that we unite. Unite in this delicious quietness, but perception is very difficult to even engage. I think the more we discuss it, the more it gets into the solid sort of projection thing again.
Else like to read? I mean, I can keep going, but if someone else would like to. No one?
I can read for a little bit.
All right, great. Thanks, Alison.
It's not that I feel like it, but it might be good for me.
Yeah. I'm sure you must get tired listening to my voice.
13. The sector governments. A major sector comprises about 1/10 of a superuniverse and consists of 100 minor sectors, 10,000 local universes, about 100 billion inhabitable worlds. These major sectors, that's in each major sector, 100 billion inhabitable worlds within 1/10 of a super universe. Well, these major sectors are administered by 3 perfections of days, Supreme Trinity personalities. The courts of the perfections of days are constituted much as are those of the ancients of days, except that they do not sit in spiritual judgment upon the realms. The work of these major sector governments has chiefly to do with the intellectual status of a far-flung creation. Intellectual status. The major sectors detain, adjudicate, dispense, and tabulate. I don't know why I find that funny. For reporting to the courts of the ancients of days all matters of super-universe importance, of a routine and administrative nature, which are not immediately concerned with the spiritual of the realms, or with the outworking of the mortal ascension plans of the paradise rulers. The personnel of a major sector government is no different from that of the super universe. As the magnificent satellites of Uversa are concerned with your final spiritual preparation for Havona, so are the 70 satellites of U Major, the 5th, devoted to your super universe intellectual training and development. From all Orvonton, here are gathered together the wise beings who labor untiringly to prepare the mortals of time for their further progress towards the career of eternity. Well, thank you, all you wise beings.
The career of eternity. That's pretty good.
Most of this training of ascending mortals is conducted on the 70 study worlds.
Oh.
The minor sector governments are presided over by 3 regents of days. Their administration is concerned mainly with the physical control, unification, stabilization, and routine coordination of the administration of the component local universes. Each minor sector embraces as many as 100 local universes, 10,000 constellations, 1 million systems, or about 1 billion inhabitable worlds. Minor sector headquarters worlds are the Grand Rendezvous. I'm just going back. 100 local universes, 10,000 constellations, 1 million systems, or about 1 billion inhabitable worlds. How many is a billion?
1,000 million, I think. Yeah. Yeah, 1,000 million.
Okay.
A lot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that there would be a billion, hang on, that there would be 1 billion inhabitable worlds in 100 local universes. To me, that seems like an awful lot. Anyway, minor sector headquarters worlds are the grand rendezvous of the master physical controllers. Minor sector headquarters of the master physical controllers. These headquarters worlds are surrounded by the 7 instruction spheres, which constitute the entrance schools of the super universe and are the centers of training for physical and administrative knowledge concerning the universe of universes. Oh dear God, I find this so it's like reading numbers.
Yeah.
The administrators of the minor sector governments are under the immediate jurisdiction of the major sector rulers. I think I want someone else to read, please.
But that video is really good because it's just makes it so graphically beautifully explained. I think this is that very they often show. All right, where are you? I'll continue.
The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraph. The administrators of
The administrators of the minor sector governments are under the immediate jurisdiction of the major sector rulers. The regents of days receive all reports of observations and coordinate all recommendations which came up to a superior universe from unions of days who are stationed as Trinity observers and advise on the headquarters spheres of the local universe, and from the faithful of days who are similarly attached to the Council of Most High at the headquarters
Most highs.
of the constellations. Most highs at the headquarters of the constellations. All such reports are transmitted to the perfections of days on the major sector. Subsequently,
you're missing a lot of plurals there.
yeah.
Cool.
All right. All such reports are transmitted to the perfections of days on the major sectors, subsequently to be passed on to courts of ancients of days. Thus, the Trinity regime extends from constellations to the local universes upon the headquarters of the universe. The local system headquarters do not have Trinity representatives.
It still sounds to me like it's like a great big public service, and there's, just like the public service, there's a whole lot of unnecessary departments.
Well, people have to be employed, and so come up with things.
Why? Why can't they just go and have a holiday somewhere? Why do they have to have an employment? Oh dear.
With everything, but with everything running so perfectly and smoothly, like you'd probably love working. It'd just be fun.
Yeah,
it would be good.
Yeah. Probably just like, oh, I can't wait to get into the flow again today.
Something, yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. You'd want to be, imagine you just want to be part of it. Yeah.
No, not me.
Right then.
Sounds horrible.
So much administration. Oh.
It's so boring, because it's like they're all going to come to the same decision. It's like they probably make up their mind in the first 5 minutes. It's like it's
They're probably up there having orgies.
Yeah, well, that's
in all
more
the spare
like
time.
Yeah, well, that'd be all right.
But maybe at that point, I don't think there is such thing.
It'd be lovely to see an example.
Oh, that's disappointing.
The way we see it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not the way we see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. They get excited about sitting on a panel and judging some universe. Jesus. No.
Yeah.
I wish they'd organize Urantia a bit better, actually. I really do.
These are evolutionary worlds, so they're for us to organize, to some extent. Give us certain playgrounds to play in, to evolve in, and it's a lot to do with how we do it.
Yeah.
That's why we can't meet any other worlds. Have you noticed that the next, even when they discover that there might be life on some planet, whatever the number, that we can't possibly get there in time. So it's set up.
Thank God. Imagine what we'd do to it.
Well, we don't know. Again, it's like you got to watch all of this is projection from our little perspective, how we see it. I mean,
oh my God, I don't want to know about projection. Thank you, Cole, for the reminder.
Like we're looking at something that is quite profound. It's almost like, Kim, when you were talking today, that you closed your eyes and you went into this place. I know that place well.
Oh.
Your fantasy world before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
And it's not a fantasy world, actually. Like if you look at the force of love, like you have to create it within yourself, but to bring it into the physical, yeah, that's how you become an example life, or this is how you begin to project differently or extend actually differently.
Mm.
I know I used to have that already as a kid. I would wake up I would have it differently. I would wake up like 6:30 and realize I've got another 25 minutes. I close my eyes and boom, this would always kick in. And in that world, I would even tell myself like, "Whoa, I actually don't even have to go to work."
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I can only I remember when I was a kid and I used to ride my bike and I'd imagine it was a car and it was such fun. It would be so real. Whereas, I don't know, I seem to, maybe I'm upset I've lost that capacity. I think that I've lost it. I mean, obviously it's there, but somehow it's gotten buried. And
Yes.
I lost interest in just going to bed at night because, I can't access it. Maybe I just got to practice going back there. I don't know.
Yes, it's interesting
Yeah.
because sometimes it's true. Like sometimes it really works. Like I think it's that effortless state. We somehow knew or we were shown how to. Like for me, it just comes on.
Right.
I can't postulate it. I can't go like, oh, I'm gonna go there now. But I can almost like prepare my ground for it where I close my eyes and I remember lifting my head up that way a bit, even when I was lying. There's something about sort of open up more of these sections. And then I would just not do anything and it would just come on.
Right.
Same as my experiences of love. Like this exquisite love would just come. Like going like, I am loving this and I'm loving that. That's like old. This is like it comes on. Like it comes. It's a second coming. It comes on. And then you suddenly go like, oh my God, where does this come from? Like it's just such an exquisite realm of being. I mean, all of you must have had
Yeah,
some experience.
we're just so much more open to those things as children. I remember lying in bed as a kid, and then I'd realize that my arm was up in the air. It was just sitting there. It was just totally supported, just
Yeah,
sitting there.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I had no urge to move it, to take it down.
yeah.
I didn't lose any blood flow. It was just like it was just sitting there. It's almost like an aerial, I suppose.
Mhm.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It's like qigong, like you're doing these exercises, and one day you're like right there, and it's like you are held, like your whole being uh, begins to be
Mm.
like this inner power kicks in. That's the chi, really. That
Yeah.
you go like, oh my God, I'm not holding my arms up. They are held there by this invisible force. And I think, these next levels of being are not as dense as we are. We can only see it like, oh, they must be having offices and going to work or whatever. And it's not like that at all. Like saying a lot of it is our projection. But what if they are just those worlds where you don't physically do that much because there is not much physical?
Mm. I
Although,
mean, yeah, those meetings could just be moments of communion in actual fact, and with that communion coming to, there's no discussion when
yeah,
you're in communion. There's just understanding. There's just revelations, understanding.
yeah,
That's how it happens, not through discussion and talking about it and trying to weigh different things.
hmm mm, yeah,
We can't possibly know in actual fact. We're only going from our own small experiences. We can't imagine how big or different it could get.
hmm Well, yeah,
There's this thing I've seen on YouTube, and it's this imaginary twins speaking about what life is like after delivery. It's quite cute. And they're saying, does the mother really exist? And the other one's saying, yes, it surrounds us, you know. And, you know, all the sort of questions. It's really quite fun. Yeah. And, yeah.
Yeah, also even Earth wasn't as dense as it is now at some point. Like Raju Sobel has a beautiful description of what it was like. Do you remember Land of Pan, where he talks about how the spirits came on Earth and no one had to earn living, everything was hospitable and sprang forth without effort.
Oh.
Remember? It's like the spirit would just there wouldn't be such density. You would just desire something and it would just immediately become so. And then we begin to slow down, and it becomes so physical that now it manifests anything. You have to, it takes months and sometimes years before you manifest whatever you desire. And, you know, that was when we were younger, we were having all these desires. Now we have more desires like stay healthy and you know, keep in one piece.
Stay alive, yeah.
Stay alive and keep our relationship and our kids somehow somewhere in harmony with us. Anyway,
I remember as a kid feeling very light, like there was not
yeah,
much density, and I could just felt like I could just run for hours, and there was this lightness, yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like just like Elisa was saying, you like you put your hand up and you just like you're like right there, and everything was more magical.
Mm.
Same thing as we get older, everything is like somebody took me to an opening of my school a few months ago, and 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 it turned on the camera and it was going to the classes where I used to go as a kid. And I was looking at it going like, oh my God, everything looks so tiny.
Mm.
When I remember it all so big. And he was showing it. I'm like, Jesus, isn't it all small? And he goes, yeah, it all looks small for some reason. But as a kid, I saw this school as this massive, monstrous, sort of huge classes and big walking areas. And it was just this tiny little thing. So, yeah.
I mean, you know, and like when I look at my grandson, compared to him, I'm like a giant, you know. But I don't remember back that far. I don't remember looking up to adults as these huge, big giants above me. I don't have that recollection. I don't know.
Me, they all look old. When someone was 50, that was like, oh my God, I was an old person.
Yeah.
And I was 50 one
Yeah.
day and I'm going like 50, that's pretty good. You know,
Yeah.
like life's pretty interesting now. And in 60s, it was even more interesting. Yeah.
I remember when I was a little kid, someone rang the doorbell and I went and opened the door, and there was this woman. And I went and told my mum there's someone at the door. And she said, oh, who is it? I said, I don't know. She said, what are they like? And I said, she's old. And I think she was probably about 25
Yeah,
or 30, but to me, she was old. She was,
it's all relative. Yeah, isn't it?
Anyway, do we want to finish this
We're nearly
paper?
to the There's one more,
One more section.
and then we finish the paper. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, a lot of sort of waffling today, isn't there?
Yeah.
Mm.
And, that too will pass and then comes the next section, which could be way more interesting or way less interesting. At this
True.
point, I'd say at this point, because sometimes I was listening to some things and I just could barely get through it. And then
Mm.
now when I listen to it, I go like, oh my God, this is so incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are on 14 now?
Yes.
14, yeah.
Purposes of the seven universes. So here we
Seven super universes.
yeah.
Super universe.
Super universes.
You got 3 of us now, Cole.
Oh, I have a whole government here.
Yeah, that's right.
Fractions of days, you know.
You got to get it perfect.
We're all
You've got to get it
we're all in
perfect.
agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, you all clearly see that I've got faulty, you know, receptivity of like my eyes do funny things.
The
There
court has
are
spoken.
major purposes which are being unfolded in the evolution of the seven super universes. Each major purpose in the super universe evolution will find full expression
Fullest.
Fullest.
fullest expression. Fullest expression in only one of the seven super universes. And therefore, does each super universe have a special function and unique nature.
Mm.
Or wanton, the seventh universe, the
Super.
one testing. Or wanton, the seventh super universe, the one to which your local universe belongs. Oh, so we are seventh. Sorry, last time I said we were fifth. I thought, but I was wrong. Unhappy.
7th super universe.
Seventh super universe, the one to which your local universe belongs, is known chiefly because of its tremendous and lavish bestowal of merciful ministry of the mortals of
to
the mortals of the realms. It is renowned for the manner in which justice prevails as tempered by mercy, and power rules as conditioned by patience. What? While the sacrifices of time are freely made to secure the stabilization of eternity. Or wanton is a universe demonstration of love and mercy.
And by golly, we need it.
Yeah.
Mm. It is, however, very difficult to describe our perception of the true nature.
Conception.
Jesus. It is, however, very difficult to describe our conception of the true nature of the evolutionary purpose, which is unfolding in Orvonton, but may be suggested by saying that in this super creation, we feel that the sixth unique purpose of cosmic evolutions, purposes of cosmic evolution, are as manifested in the six associated super creations, are here being interassociated into a meaning of the whole. And it is for this reason that we have sometimes conjectured that the evolved and finished personalizations of God, the Supreme, will in the remote future and from Uversa rule the perfected seven superuniverses in all the experiential majesty of his then attain a multi-sovereign power. My God.
That's a huge sentence, isn't it?
I find hard to read that.
Mm.
As Arvanton is unique in nature and individual in destiny, so also is each of its 6 associated superuniverses. A great deal that is going on in Arvanton is not, however, revealed to you, and of those unrevealed features of Arvanton life, many are to find most complete expression in some other super universes.
Super universe. Oh, well done.
The seven purposes of the super universe evolutions are operative throughout all 7 super universes, but each super creation will give fullest expression to only one of these purposes.
Mm.
To understand more about the super universe purposes, much that you do not understand would have to be revealed, and even then you would comprehend but little.
Little, yeah.
This universe narrative.
This entire
I think I'll stop after this. This entire narrative represents only a fleeting.
presents. This entire narrative presents only a fleeting glimpse of the immense creation of which your world and local system are a part. Is that all right, Cole, that I took that over?
Please, you saved me from yeah.
Your world is called Urantia, and it is number 666. No, I'm just joking. It is number 606 in the planetary group or system of Satania. This system has at present 619 inhabited worlds, and more than 200 additional planets are evolving favorably toward becoming inhabited worlds at some future time. Satania has a headquarters world called Jerusalem, and it is system number 24 in the constellation of Norletiadec.
Dodged a bullet there, Cole.
Norletiadec. Your constellation, Norletiadec, consists of 100 local systems and has a headquarters world called Edentia. Norletiadec is number 70 in the universe of Nebadon. The local universe of Nebadon consists of 100 constellations and has a capital known as Salvington. I'm sure we've been told all of this before.
Yeah.
They keep on telling us, so we'll eventually get it.
Yeah.
And I still haven't picked up any of it, really. The universe of Nebadon is number 84 in the minor sector of Insa. The minor sector of Insa consists of 100 local universes and has a capital called U minor the third. This minor sector is number 3 in the major sector of Splandon. Splandon consists of 100 minor sectors and has a headquarters world called U major the fifth. It is the 5th major sector of the super universe of Orvonton, the 7th segment of the grand universe. Thus, you can locate your planet in the scheme of the organization and administration of the universe of universes.
Mm.
The grand universe number of your world, Urantia, is... I'm going to do this.
5 trillion
5 trillion
342 billion
342 billion 482
Million?
million.
Yeah.
million 337,666.
Six. Well, you know, we're in a system of Catania, so why not?
Oh my God. Wow. So that's the number, right? The grand universe number of your world, Urantia.
Yeah.
That's how many worlds there are, right?
Well, and yeah. That is the registry number on Uversa and on Paradise, and we better remember it when we die, otherwise we're going to be lost forever.
What's your number?
I don't know. It ends in 666.
Oh dear.
It's 5. What did you say? What did you say, Kevin? 5 billion or trillion?
5 trillion.
5 trillion.
True.
342 billion.
Hmm.
Yeah.
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 482 million. Blah blah. Right. I know. No, that is the registry number on Uversa and on Paradise, your number in the catalogue of the inhabited worlds. I know the physical sphere registry number, but it is of such an extraordinary size that it is of little practical significance to the mortal mind.
Yeah.
Your planet is a member of an enormous cosmos. You belong to a well-nigh infinite family of worlds, but your sphere is just as precisely administered and just as lovingly fostered as if it were the only inhabited world in all existence. Presented by a universal censor hailing from Uversa.
Maybe that's why we feel we're the only inhabited world in all existence. Because
we are.
Yeah, you might as well be, hey.
Wow, that was a mouthful.
100 local units. Bloody hell, I mean, so many layers of how we are located.
But when you look at now with that, you know, with the even what scientific observation, what are those centers called? That not centers, the satellites that look into universe.
They're always finding more and more and more and more.
The telescope.
And it's like from our perspective, what we can see. I mean, and they have such a different point of view how it is.
Yeah.
And it's enormous. And that's what they can see. So I'm not surprised. All right, darlings. Shall we leave it at that?
I think so. We're up to the 7 master spirits. Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh,